what's up, everybody? Jasper Gonzo here. Another episode of What's Next. Happy Thursday, guys. Excuse me. The situation with Chappelle and Netflix just won't die. After co-CEO Ted Sarandos of Netflix came out and defended Chappelle's comedy, says there's basically pretty much room for everyone in every type of comedy here at Netflix. After several days of thought, Ted Sarandos comes back and looks like he bent the knee and kissed the ass of the trans. Let's take a look. This comes out of the Wall Street Journal. Now, this came out early yesterday morning, and due to time constraints, I didn't get a chance to jump on this. But Netflix co-CEO says, quote, he screwed up when defending Dave Chappelle's special. Quote, I should have recognized the fact that a group of our employees was really hurting, Ted Sarandos said in an interview. Netflix CEO, co-CEO, Chief Executive Ted Sarandos said he screwed up in his efforts to communicate with employees who were upset over the closure. A recent comedy special by one Dave Chappelle, legend, in which he made remarks that some views as offensive to the trans community. Oh, so sad. In an email to Netflix staffers after a special debut earlier this month, Sarandos defended the closure, citing its popularity on the platform and the company's commitment to creative freedom. He also said the company believed that, quote, content on a screen doesn't directly translate to real-world harm, and that is factual. Quote, in the closure, which was released earlier this month and currently is among the most watched on the service, actually, it became the #1 most watched comedy series this year, and it's probably got a good shot at breaking the record of Sticks and Stones as the most watched comedy series ever on Netflix. Chappelle said that gender is a fact, which is true. He said he identified as TERF, an acronym for the stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Femi. He also compared trans community to people who wear blackface, which is, yeah, you could say pretend, men pretending to be women. Yeah. Quote, what I should have led with those emails was humanity, Sarandos said in an interview Tuesday evening. I should have recognized the fact that a group of our employees was really hurting. Sarandos said his remarks on content not causing real-world harm was also oversimplification of lacking humanity. To be clear, storytelling has an impact in the real world, sometimes quite negative. And speaking of these massive protests, I mean across the country, around the world, this comes out of Fox. Dave Chappelle's controversial special spurs 100 people. 100 people to protest at Netflix Walkout. I heard that this was supposed to be up to 1,000 people protesting, but only 100. But that may be oversimplification of it as well. About 100 people gathered on Wednesday outside a Netflix office in Los Angeles. Just there, California, to protest Chappelle's The Closer, in which he made some remarks that were offensive to the transgender community because they were based on facts and science. Protesters held signs with phrases like trans lives matter, because of course they did. Transphobia is not a joke, which it is. Getting pushback from counter-protesters who also showed up. There are a few moments of shoving and pushing among competing demonstrators, but the conflict was mostly limited to a war of words. The scheduled walkout was planned by Netflix employees seeking to highlight their objections to their comedy special and the company's handling of it. BRB Walkout, most of the streaming services, Alphabet Social Media, wrote in a tweet Wednesday. Other Netflix stars voiced their opinion, their support on Walkout as media. Ellen Page, who stars in Netflix The Umbrella Academy, who is a pretend man, tweeted that she stands for trans, non-binary people of color working at Netflix who are fighting for more than better trans stories and more inclusive workplace. Yes, diversity. So stunning, so brave. Shit's Creek creator creator, writer, actor, and director Dan Levy also posted a message of solidarity. Yes! He signed a multiple-year offer over our film and TV deal with Netflix in 21. Levy wrote, I stand with every employee at Netflix using their voice to ensure a safe and supportive work environment. I've seen firsthand how vital television can be when it comes to influencing cultural conversation. That impact is real, works both ways, positively and negatively. Transphobia is unacceptable and harmful. That isn't a debate. Well, yes, it is a debate, Dave, because it's not real. It's all a mental illness, which is based on science. Ashley Preston, an activist and event organizer, addressed the rally and spoke to the Associated Press afterward. She said calling out Chappelle for his remarks wasn't enough. It was important to shift the focus. People that signed the checks, because Chappelle doesn't sign checks. Netflix does. If we have companies like Netflix who aren't listening to their employees, who are forcing their employees to participate in their oppression, yes, that's right, the oppressiveness, that is unacceptable. We're here to keep people accountable. We're not going anywhere, she said, adding that efforts are underway to start a dialogue with Netflix executives. Here is some of the highlights from TMZ. Is it 100 people? Is it? More like 30 or 40 from what I can tell. My thoughts, and if I sounded, condescending and sarcastic during my reading of this article, yes, I was, because it is clownery, it is buffoonery, it is dumb. The fact of the matter is that comedy now has become offensive. Opinions have become offensive if they're not in the right frame of quote-unquote mind. If they don't fit your narrative, they become offensive. I appreciate the trans community. I love the trans community. They are such great people. Ding! Well, transphobia doesn't exist. Being trans is a mental illness. But men cannot be women. All facts. And wrong narrative. Chappelle's not going anywhere. The closer's not going anywhere. For Sarandos, CEO, for him to backpedal, for him to bend the knee, for him to kiss the ass, for him to throw a bone at the trans community is a joke. Is an absolute joke. For him to double down and to defend Chappelle was the correct thing to do. Words don't cause violence. They don't. You know the old adage? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Still fits, even though it's 2021. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is what's next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.